Say for Alan Streisfeld. There he is. If one thing is certain tonight, it is this. Alan Streisfeld and Valerie Labasi were well fed with the feast because this microphone smells like a pickle. Anyway, we could soak this in vanilla extract or something. I don't guess we don't have time for that. This is very strange for me. I am a member of this temple. My family and I have been members for 30 years. I was married right here. Right here. I'm having a wine glass flashback. My two daughters, their baby namings were right here. My two daughters, their bat mitzvahs were right here. The rabbi has led so many Friday night services that I've neglected to attend right here. Where's the rabbi? There he is. Rabbi Steve Moss, get up. Come on, take a bow. There he is. This temple goes way back, and so does the rabbi. He goes way back. In fact, when he first started, it was simply called the Testament. That was it. That was just what it called. Kind of like the Great War. They didn't know they'd have more than one. They didn't know to name them. There's Rabbi Moss. I am so tempted to make him stand up for the rest of the show to get even for every congregation rise you've hit me with over the years. There, get that. Unbelievable. I could turn this into a Rabbi Moss roast like that. Maybe later. It's all right. Just to reintroduce myself, I'm David Weiss, and it's a pleasure to see all of you, but really even more of a pleasure for me to be seen anywhere rather than just heard, and by that I'm referring to something else that I do for a living. I happen to be, for those of you who don't know, one of the news anchors that you hear bringing the news every day on 1010 Wins. That's what I do. 1010 Wins listeners? Very good. You want me to prove it? You want the radio voice? All right. The news watch never stops. This is 1010 Wins. All news all the time. You give us 22 minutes and... we give you the word. Responsive reading in unison. I like that a lot. Although I have to tell you, we've had some cutbacks at 1010 Wins. We're down to 12 minutes, can only give you Patchogue and Yonkers. I'm sorry, that's it. Cutbacks. What am I going to do? I got to tell you about something that happened just a couple of weeks ago. So help me. Broadway Comedy Club in New York City. I began the show this same way, and I said, any 1010 Wins listeners? Not a soul. This is in New York City. Not a soul. In fact, one guy actually said, what do you mean 1010 wins? 1010 doesn't win. That's a tie. Don't you mean 1110 wins? It went downhill from there. I came here straight from 1010 Wins. I was on the air this afternoon, came right to the temple, which is why I'm still wearing the shirt and the tie. They have a dress code at 1010 Wins. Let that sink in for a second. I'm on the radio. I could be doing the news without any clothes on, dancing on a table. I don't think you'd know the difference. It's 1 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm David Weiss on 1010 Wins. Here are our top stories. It's not like somebody driving by is going to say, did you hear that guy? I think he's naked. And I think he's dancing. He's naked and he's dancing. Oh. Anyway, doing the news on the radio is not the only thing I've done in my broadcast career. Some years back, I actually did the weather on TV. Channel 55 back in 2008 hired me without a cumulus cloud of weather experience to do the weather on their nightly newscast. Does anybody remember me doing the weather on TV? Wow. Now that is shocking for this reason. The station used to go off the air at 2 in the morning. The Star Spangled Banner, the color bars, and the tone had more viewers than our nightly newscast did, all right? It was the witness protection program of newscast. But I did the weather on the newscast for 4 years. Now, we kept track of my accuracy over 4 years. I'm very proud to say that overall, I was 90% right 10% of the time. So you do the Common Core math on that. One of my favorite forecasts that I'll never forget, it was about 6 years ago. On that evening newscast, I said, all right, tomorrow it's going to be mostly cloudy, breezy, chance of showers. That next day, you got it, Hurricane Sandy. However, in my own defense, as I explained to my boss, I said mostly cloudy. I emphasized breezy. I threw in chance of showers. Break me on a curve. So in addition to my broadcasting occupation, I've been doing stand-up comedy for a while now, having a lot of fun. I did the recent funniest New York City Jewish comedian contest Yes, there really is such a thing. Funny Jews, who knew? Anyway, when I got there, it was obvious from the get-go that this was a Jewish production all the way. On the way in, there was a 2-attorney minimum. And I was okay. I brought Binder and Binder, so I was fine. As for the contest itself, I actually did pretty well. I made it to the finals, and I finished second by a nose. Literally to a guy with a bigger Jewish nose. Absolutely right. I think I was the only Jew on the planet that night with nasal envy, okay? So, I work in the city, as I know some of you do, and I commute, which is not a lot of fun. I do not drive. I'm not stupid enough to drive. Has traffic ever been as bad as it is now? It's hard. It's rush hour, 24/7, right? You know what I noticed? When you are trapped in a really big traffic backup, you are secretly hoping it's an accident that's causing that backup, right? Come on, admit it. You're in Temple. You got to be honest. Come on. And you know why. You know why, because an accident is at a specific point, a fixed location that you can eventually reach. You do a little rubbernecking. Oh, that's a mangled mess. And then you're on your way. As compared to a construction traffic jam, which can close multiple lanes, go on for miles, cost you most of the day, along with the fact that no one has actually ever been seen working at a road construction area. Ever. Just 3 guys with sandwiches and another guy holding up a sign, slow. Slow. I don't even know if that sign is meant for us driving by or for his coworkers who are eating too fast. Slow. All right, so whether it's construction or an accident, forget driving. I take mass transit, which I know many of us do, and today was a particularly bad day in New York City getting to and from. I take the subway, number 1 train going downtown. It got stuck in the tunnel today. We've all been there. Lights go out, power goes out, and then you hear this. Emergency, evacuation, gynecologist. I didn't know whether to crawl out a window or help the women lift their legs in the air. What the heck was that? And getting to and from the city, I use the always delightful Long Island Railroad. Are you familiar with the LIRR? This is a barrel laugh. On the way this afternoon to get here, Penn to Oakdale via Babylon, at one of the stops, I got this. Yeah, folks, we're going to be here for a while. We got a passenger with a medical emergency. Not sure how long, but assistance is on the way. It's a medical emergency. Now, wait a minute. I feel bad for the passenger, but what kind of medical emergency are we talking about? I don't care if it's a heart attack or a panic attack. We are here at a station. Why does assistance need to be rendered on the train? Let's pick the passenger up. I'll help. Dump him on the platform and let's go. Right? If they can't spare an LIRR worker to stay with the passenger, pin a note to the chest. Barely breathing, may need paddles. Good luck, let's go. A woman goes into labor on the train. Congratulations, I hope you deliver on or close to schedule. You can name the baby Lindenhurst. Oh, I see your water broke. Let me help you. Watch the gap. Get off. We're gone. I just want to get where I'm going. That's all. So, for those of you who use the LIRR ticket machines, which I'm sure you do. Now, for those of you who don't use your debit or credit card, you use cash. Every so often you put a bill in, it comes back out, and you hear, this bill is not accepted, right? Guess whose voice that is? I recorded that for the Long Island Railroad years ago. I just wanted you to know that. So the next time a bill comes out and you start screaming, you're screaming at me, okay? You're not the only one. I scream at me. This bill is not accepted. Oh yeah? What if I crinkle it up and shove it back in your slot, you piece of... The thing is, he's cracking up. He thinks I'm hysterical over here. It's Mordecai. The thing is, when the bill comes back out, it's not the currency that's being rejected, it's you. It's impossible not to take this personally. This bill is not accepted. You are unfit to ride the Long Island Railroad. Seek other transportation alternatives, although it is unlikely that Uber, Lyft, a cab, or even a bus will accept you. Simply go back home, at which time your family will look at you and say, you are not accepted. So, I told you I was married right here. Right here? I'll give you the date. December 17th, 1989. My wife is sitting right over there. I married way up. There she is. December 17th, 1989. So in 16 days, I celebrate my 29th wedding anniversary. Thank you. Most of you don't know her. I'm still getting sympathy applause. I deserve it. Thank you. Anyway, my wife happens to be Italian. I know we have other Italians here tonight. Raise your hand. Italians? Oh, there we go. We got plenty. That's what? You thought it was going to be pepperoni? It was pastrami instead? You made a mistake? Doesn't matter. With any gathering, it's always nice to have a few Italians on hand for protection. We appreciate it. Thank you. Anyway, when I first started dating my wife, dating an Italian, very exciting for me. As a Jewish guy who grew up in Nassau County, in an Italian neighborhood. So this was thrilling. So after a couple of months, she said, time to meet my folks. I said, all right. Now, first of all, that meant flying down to Florida. They live in Clearwater. You know Clearwater outside Tampa, West Coast? Right? The retirement capital of the universe, where the official sound is where their favorite ice cream topping is phlegm. It's an old age community. I agree. Anyway, I meet her folks. That includes her dad, right out of the movies. Born in Italy, spent his entire working life in construction. Looks like Luca Brasi from The Godfather. In fact, I believe he once said, and may your first husband be a masculine husband. That was not good news for me. We met, we got along, it went well, fine. A couple of weeks later, I get a package in the mail. It's a bulletproof vest folded around a yarmulke. I'm told this is a Sicilian message. Treat my daughter with respect or you'll be swimming in a jar with gefilte fishes, okay? Some unnecessary biographical information. I was born in Brooklyn. The best people in the world are born in Brooklyn. Do you agree with that? Absolutely. Raised in Nassau, have lived now forever in Suffolk County. I feel at home here. That was not the case in my first job in radio. It was just outside of where I went to school, Brockton, Massachusetts. 2 quick, true stories about Brockton to sum up Brockton. I was up there just a short time, and a neighbor came up to me and said, yeah, I heard you're Jewish. Are you one of those orthopedic Jews? I said, yeah, I've got some prosthetic payas in my car. I haven't put it. How do you answer that? Even better, my first job at a small radio station in Brockton, Massachusetts, the day before I was supposed to start, the owner calls me at home and says, listen, we have something we need you to do if you want the job. We don't want you to use the name Weiss on the air. We want you to go with West. Is that okay? We want Weiss. I said, well, why? He says, well, to be honest, it's too Jewish. This would be better for our listeners, for our sponsors, for everybody. Go with West. I said, well, can I at least pick out my first name? He said, yeah, but go with West. So the next day, I went on the air as Chaim West. All right, listen, how long we've been here? A half hour, 45 minutes in this room. I know many of you are itching to take a look at the smartphone, aren't you? You want to see if anybody texted, anybody emailed, or whatever. I know all the tricks. I've been to enough services here. Prayer book is here. The smartphone is here. This past Rosh Hashanah, there's the rabbi. I inadvertently texted the rabbi during the service. It was a little surprising that he texted back, but there he is, love him. But I got to tell you, smartphones. Listen, I guess I'm just old school. I turned 60 not that long ago. Wasn't an easy birthday. How many of you are 60 and over? Come on, we're all friends here. Wow. Well, let me take a look at you. Keep the hands up. I thought that would make me feel better. It does not. Thanks a lot. Anyway, I'm very old school. I hate smartphones. They're too smart. I don't want to have the answers to all of life's questions in the palm of my hand. Where's the mystery in life? I actually felt it was thrilling long ago, before GPS, when you'd be driving around and you'd be pitifully lost and you had to figure it out yourself, right? I bet my wife would be sitting next to me and she'd be saying, why are you going so fast? You don't know where the heck you are. I'd give her the Yogi Berra line. Yeah, we're lost, but we're making good time. And something else too, whether it was in the car or elsewhere, when you heard a song on the radio that you didn't understand. You couldn't make out all the words. What did you do? What did you do, right? There's no Google, no YouTube, no lyrics.com. You made it up. That's right. You sang what you thought you heard, even if it didn't make any sense. This happened to me with one particular song back in the 60s. It goes back a ways. The Beatles. Remember the song Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds? You know the song, right? You know the line, a girl with kaleidoscope eyes? It's not what I sang. I sang, a girl with colitis goes by. That's what I heard. A girl with colitis goes by. It never occurred to me to ask why the Beatles might be singing about a young lady passing by with a severe and chronic condition of the colon. But in retrospect, maybe I was right, because as you remember, a year later, the Beatles came out with Sgt. Pepper's Irritable Bowel Syndrome Band. So there you go. As I think mentioned by Alan, I live a half-mile away on the poorer side of Montauk Highway, okay? Those of you who live nearby know what I'm talking about. Now, we're not with the no basement, high water table, idle hour elitists. No, we're on the poorer side, Montauk Highway. We happen to have a dog. We have a rescue at home. Any dog people here tonight? Dog lovers? Plenty, good. Yep, he is a Shih Tzu Bichon mix, about 25 pounds. He is a certified therapy dog who needs a therapy dog. He's an absolute mess. Now, wonderful watchdog. Mailman, FedEx, UPS, come to the door. By the way, that is a great impression of my dog. I don't do Trump, I don't do celebrities, I do my dog. If he were here tonight, he'd be laughing. The dog actually laughs. Anyway, so tremendous watchdog. But he has all these irrational fears inside the house. He's afraid of flies. He's afraid of thunder. And now he's petrified because we found out the poodle next door is pregnant. And that's all we need is a paternity suit, huh? Yeah, right. Oh, you like that one? Really? How about this one? My dog snores. We got him a CPAP machine. You like that one too? Now listen, I am well aware of the situation in my house. Nothing is up to me, all right? I'm a Polish Jew. She's an Italian Jew. I'm afraid of her. That's that. So a couple of weeks ago, she says, out of nowhere, you know what? We need another dog. I didn't agree, but again, that's that. So she goes out to the East End to a rescue organization called ARF. She finds another Shih Tzu mix and brings her home. A she this time. We looked up the papers, and it said that she was transported to Long Island from a shelter where she was abandoned, poor thing, in Chattanooga, Tennessee. She's a Southern dog, which makes sense because she's missing a few teeth, only chases pickup trucks, and was found sleeping with her brother. She's from the South. We're in Oakdale, we're on the South Shore, not South Carolina. You're allowed to laugh at that. Hey. So anyway, my wife converted to Judaism shortly before we were married. The rabbi can back me up on this. I think my wife was among the first, if not the first, to use the mikveh pool at the Comac Y when it opened up in December of 1989. To coin a phrase, she christened the mikveh pool. And for those of you who don't know, the mikveh pool is part of the ceremony of conversion. You totally immerse yourself in the pool. It's basically a baptism on steroids, all right? So you're in the pool. Now, neither my wife nor myself knew anything about the mikveh pool. I mean, she packed a snorkel and earplugs. I hired a lifeguard to come with us. We didn't know what we were doing. Now, the rabbi wasn't crazy about her taking a cannonball into the pool, but it went well. She converted and that's that. All right, and she pointed out to me recently, she has been a Jew now longer than she was a Catholic. However, she's still Italian. So certain things are still with her, including her love of Christmas songs. But she's not alone. I love Christmas songs. We all love Christmas songs. Now, come on. We're outnumbered. There are more Christmas songs than there are Hanukkah songs. We love Christmas songs. So we did something in my house that I think is very clever. We took some classic Christmas songs and converted them into something that we could enjoy as a Jewish family. All we had to do is make some slight alterations, such as, I'm dreaming of a crispy latke. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Accountant. He's the one who cooks the books. You know that song. There's that novelty song, Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer, after which we had a nice funeral, sat Shiva, and had lots of leftover babka. Nice song, a little hard to sing. Oh, there's also the somewhat disturbing, I saw Mommy kissing Rabbi Moss. Ooh. I'm looking at him and I realize no more Aaliyahs for me, I tell you. Oh, listen, please, turn to the Gentile next to you and explain what an Aaliyah is. I don't have time. Thank you. Anyway, one more song that I wanted to point out. It's a song we hear around the holidays every single year. You know the song from Sound of Music, right? My Favorite Things, Julie Andrews, that lovely song. In my house, we decided to give that song a slightly more kosher flavor. Would you like to hear it? Yeah? I was going to do it anyway. All right, let's see. How's it go? A raindrops on roses, oy vey, now it's raining. Soup is too cold, sent it back, I'm complaining. Kids never visit, the phone never rings. These are a few of my least favorite things. Throughout my hip as I dance to the horror. Tomorrow night we light the menorah. Our holiday's too early or they're too late. These are a few of the things that I hate. When your dog bites and I'm bleeding, here's what I'm gonna do. I'll wish you a happy Hanukkah and then I will sue you. This is a big mistake. I should have quit while I'm ahead, but there's another verse. A raindrops on roses, oy vey, now it's pouring. We love Rabbi Moss, his sermons never are boring. What else am I supposed to say? He's sitting right there. I remember my Moyle, his hands cold to the touch. But even worse, he cut off too much. I'll spare you the show and tell. When your dog bites, again he bit me. But what are you gonna do? If I had nothing to moan about, I wouldn't be, everybody, a Jew. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, B'nai Israel, Rabbi Moss, Rabbi Rosenthal right over there. To Alan Streisfeld. See you back on the air at 10:10 Wins tomorrow. Good night. Enjoy the rest of the show.
David Weiss.